In this video, we're going to talk about 7 reasons why you're not losing body fat. I'm Anthony Pietrobono, online coach, personal trainer, and university student, and on this channel, I post educational fitness content, vlogs, and book reviews every day. Okay, so for reason number 1, we're just going to get the obvious one out of the way. You might be eating too much, but more specifically, you might not be consuming the proper macronutrient ratios for your goals and your body. If you're trying to lose body fat, you actually want to raise your protein intake for 3 main reasons. Protein is harder for your body to digest, so you burn more calories when you consume it. Protein will help preserve more lean muscle mass, and it keeps you more satiated than carbohydrates do. That's why protein is actually a really good fat loss macronutrient. While on the topic of eating too much, you'll want to also cycle your macronutrients. So make sure you're not just eating the same macronutrient ratios each day on every training day or on a rest day as opposed to a training day. Make sure you're actually meeting the demands for that day. If you have a very high volume, metabolically taxing workout that day, then you'll want to increase your carbohydrates, maybe lower your protein and fats slightly to compensate so you have more glucose to work with for the immediate fuel. On rest days, you won't need carbohydrates, you won't need glucose in your bloodstream. So you'll want to spike your fats, raise your fats, and you can have your protein either the same or raise your protein as well. But keep carbs to a minimum on rest days. So make sure you're not eating too many calories, make sure you have the proper macronutrient ratios for your body and your goals, and make sure you're actually cycling those macronutrients depending on the day. The second reason is that you're not actually consuming enough fat. Interesting, right? Consuming more fat will actually keep you satiated and you won't feel as hungry throughout the day, so you won't be inclined to overeat. If you're on a low-fat diet, you're gonna be instinctively wanting more food and you're gonna be hungry throughout the day, so it's really easy to overeat. Also, when you consume more fat, your body is trained to burn more fat, so you're training your body to be more metabolically flexible. When your body's metabolically flexible, it can easily switch fuel sources from carbohydrates to fats and break down glucose or break down fats and transvert those fatty acids into glucose. So consume more fat to burn more fat. Reason number 3 is that you might not be consuming enough water and you might be drinking too many calorific drinks. It's really easy to rack up the calories if you're having juice or if you're having coffee with sugar and milk. Even a single coffee can have 150 calories in it if you add sugar and milk or cream to it. So try having black coffee and also try to limit the fruit juices you drink. Aim to drink at least 4 liters of water per day if you're active. And just by having more liquids throughout the day, that'll keep you more satiated and you won't think about food as much, because a lot of the times when you're hungry, you're actually just thirsty. Your body's just craving water, but you reach for food instead. The 4th reason is that you might not be training intense enough. You want to make sure you're varying your training and you're having some metabolic style training in there. So you want to have giant sets, drop sets, supersets, low rest periods. These are all going to amplify your metabolism and elicit an EPOC effect. EPOC stands for excess post-oxygen consumption. I made a video on this before, so I'll link it down below. But you want to make sure you're actually taking your sets to failure and you're actually putting in maximal effort. Also including compound lifts. Compound lifts are going to burn a lot of calories and tax your body effectively. Reason number 5 is that you might be doing too much low intensity steady state cardio. Try implementing more high intensity interval training. So you want to do 2 to 3 sessions a week of more of this metabolically demanding high intensity interval training. If you're simply doing low intensity steady state cardio, your body gets used to that for 1. And 2, you're not elevating your metabolism afterwards. High intensity interval training taxes your body and puts a greater stress and demand on your body to accelerate your metabolism 24 to 48 hours after you actually complete the 8 or 10 intervals, whatever amount of intervals you do. For high intensity interval training, you can do sprints, you can do intervals on the Stairmaster, you can go on the bike. I personally like to do wind gates, so I like to go on the bike, jack up the resistance and pedal all out for 15 seconds. That really gets your heart rate up and really gets your metabolism in a heightened state. The 6th reason is that you might be too stressed. Stress causes your cortisol to be chronically elevated. And chronically elevated cortisol can lead to insulin resistance, so you're losing your insulin sensitivity. What this essentially means is that it's shifting your body into a fat storing mode. This elevated cortisol from stress can have a cascade of events on your hormones in general. So if you hit a fat loss plateau, analyze your stress levels, see what's going on in your life. One of the ways I like to manage my stress better is I meditate every single day for 20 minutes when I wake up. This helps me clear my head and actually just analyze my thoughts as they go by so I don't stress over them. The 7th and final reason is that you're not sleeping enough. A lack of sleep disrupts our hormones, reduces our growth hormone release at night, causes us to feel hungrier throughout the day, and impairs our gym performance. So try to get 7 to 8 hours a night of quality sleep, and maybe set up a sleep ritual. I personally actually have a sleep ritual at night to help me wind down. I do one of two things. I either take a hot Epsom salt bath at night for 30 minutes before bed and listen to a podcast, or I go to bed 1 hour before I plan on sleeping. I turn off all the lights in my room, make sure it's very dark and dim, and I turn off my phone, put it away, and I take out a book and I just read for 1 hour or until I get too sleepy to continue reading. And I just have a lamp on next to me as a little night light. So that's how I wind down. I just read a book for 1 hour before I sleep, and that helps me wind down and actually get some quality sleep. I always wake up feeling fresh and I get a good 7-8 hours sleep. Those are 7 reasons why you're probably not losing body fat. Let's quickly summarize. Number 1, you're eating too much. You're not structuring your macronutrient ratios properly, and you're not cycling your macronutrients across all the days of the week. Number 2, you're not consuming enough fat. Number 3, you're not drinking enough water and you might be drinking too many calorific drinks. Number 4, you're not training intense enough and you're not varying your training stimulus. Number 5, you're doing too much low intensity steady state cardio and not enough high intensity interval training. Number 6, you're too stressed and you don't have proper stress management systems set in place. And number 7, you might not be sleeping enough. Comment below what your stress management systems are and if you have any sleep rituals in place or morning rituals in place. I'd love to learn from you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.